Hello, good morning, my friends. My name is Natasha, and I'm so excited to be here with you today. I know this is super early. I don't know what to do. I'm not a lighting or editing expert, so I've got a window next to me with a ton of sun that decided to come through, and it was super dark when I had the idea to say, let's just film earlier. I'm all about adapting and changing because I feel like when we get stagnant and doing the same thing over and over, we get really comfortable. It's predictable. I, for one, love a routine. And so it's so easy to cling on to like what is known, what works. However, I also understand that my most powerful moments, my moments that were filled with growth and exploration, were when I pushed myself out of my comfort zone, when I got myself out of what was just the monotony of the day to day. And so I figured, well, why not try and record a little bit earlier today? I started off this morning. My favorite instructor was in my city gym 2 times today. So we did back-to-back classes, and coming off an injury, I was a little bit skeptical, but I knew the first class would be a little bit on the slower side. So this was the class I began. And again, I refer to it in the most enduring ways. It was my Dancing with the Oldies class. These were my girls, and a couple guys, no, don't get them wrong. But they were the ones, it was the first class I took, and they really, really gave me this safe place to feel confident, to feel courageous, to feel inspired. I was like, dang, I hope I am still moving like some of these ladies, or all of them, to be honest, at their age. I want to be moving like them at my age, and I'm currently unable to. So that was they were so motivating, so accepting, so kind, and just really, I sometimes kick myself for not continuing to go to that class because, quite honestly, I've got stuff to do, don't want to get up that early in the morning, and it's not like that challenging of a workout. So I'm like, if I have to pick and choose my hour in which I'm working out, I feel like, again, I strapple, but for the social reasons, I feel like I really want to go again. And when I see them, it's just it's like being with old friends, and it's very just nurturing. And I didn't have a lot of nurture in my life. My grandma was very nurturing, ish, but she was also a toughie too. So it was this balance between being, the huggy, nurturing, and get it done. This is a Russian woman raised in China. I mean, can you imagine, that, it wasn't all roses and sweet cuddles and things like that. It was she kept things real, which I loved about her. It was this dynamic force that had this beautiful balance of, she was like a flower that was delicate but strong, right? To withhold the winds and whatever happens. And, she was always left standing, looking beautiful still, and, attracting the sun and positivity. And exuding it as well. So again, when I go in that class, it just has a different kind of my heart is here still. And then, of course, I had my fun time afterwards. So I was really gingered the first class, which was great. It was a nice ease into warming up my body. It wasn't super jumpy or anything, which again, I don't think my body could handle right now. And then I got into the next one and did as best as I could. And again, I haven't danced since Thursday morning, and this was now Tuesday morning. That is a long stretch for me. Now, again, obviously the majority of my life, I was not a dancer. I mean, I was dancing in my head, or, doing some funky things in my car or something like that, or, pulling out some Elaine moves from Seinfeld. But I, just didn't have that confidence. I thought, I believed, when the people that said oh, you're not that good of a dancer, this person is a better dancer. I believed that. And I was didn't have the knowledge or courage to say, okay, that's fine. I am not that good of a dancer, but to hell, I'm going to become one, instead of, I took it as I took the word as gospel. And for some reason I twisted that to believe like, and I cannot be a good dancer. And look at me now. And I may not have the moves down perfect again, but if I'm there for fun, for a smile, and for a workout, I am literally killing it because I am achieving everything I want. And then of course, I have like not perfectionistic tendencies, but it's something I care about. I want to get it right. Like I want to respect his time. He puts a lot of effort into, memorizing choreography and doing things. So it's like, if I'm over here being like, I don't know, I just find it disrespectful to like be over here and do my own thing for like a long time. Yes, when I mess up, I am doing a solo. It is fine. But, it's so nice because I don't go to the Pleasanton gym very often. And so it's very exciting to see new people, not new people, but see them again. And so I made the decision, since I already did 2 classes today, I came home and I was like, listen, just get your steps done now. I'm not going to go sit in a car for an hour, 30 minutes there and 30 minutes back to do an hour dance when I'm still like, I'm like getting better, and I don't want to push it to the point where I push myself. And so being very kind and respectful to myself was like, it just seemed more of the priority than like getting there and getting it done just because that's what I do. It's Tuesday and I go here. I think that it's absolutely okay to listen to my body, and it is absolutely fine. So I am going to use this opportunity. I've got my steps done. I'm getting this done. And I'm not saying like everything is a checklist, but like I have a bunch of like tasks that I've been just, compounding. And again, like my kids still, because I am mom, like that is still my primary role. Like I get it where I have now. Before, like my totem pole was this. It was like my kids, collectively, then my kids individually, work, Chris, strangers, friends, teachers, a friend of a friend, the postman, anything else. And then there was me. And I thought for so long that's where I belonged. I really it's like I didn't think about it. Again, I was just in my right-handed default way of living, and I just didn't question it. I just thought, oh, everybody in life has a role, and this is just simply my role. Like it wasn't even thought about. It was just like, get up, take care of people. I can't even say like I consciously thought about it. Like, well, I would argue it to myself in the moments. Like, it was just like I'd have a freak out and I'd be like, nobody cares. Like I feel so used. Like all I am is here to be like a supporting act in somebody else's, story. I have no like, I just, would sometimes feel like I would have a freak out when I would get overwhelmed, overworked, tired, and I would just be like broken on the inside. And it was just like, I was just a shell of a human. It felt like it didn't even feel like my existence had any worthiness beyond I am making other people have a better life that are then going to go on to glory for themselves. And now I see like I was so misguided by myself and by my own thoughts. And so I really did believe I deserved, that was my role. I was supposed to be at the bottom of the totem pole, and that was okay. Like not everybody is going to be president. Not everybody is going to be the star of the show. Like that's okay. Like we need extras too. And we need a supporting cast, and we need, editors and producers and writers, and we all have our own strengths, right? And we all have our own weaknesses. And so I really did believe that just, and I did for many years get so much happiness. I mean, I'm not going to say it wasn't all, it was like, because I'm just naturally a happy person. I'm naturally a positive person. I received one of the most kind compliments I've got in a long time today. Is just like this woman had came up to me and she just said, positivity is just pouring out your pores. Like I look at you and, you're walking through the gym and you got a big old smile. I see people glance over at you. They're smiling now. Like, I was like, wow, see, that is exactly, like, I'm not thinking about it. That is the default system. That is the way I want the world to see. And for so many years, that's the way I thought it was seeing and me. And I thought that's what I was portraying. And some people did see that. But on the same turn, I didn't see that always in myself, right? And so the way we treat people, the way we show up is really how are we treating ourselves. If you want a real mirror, that is the real mirror. That is going to show you what's going on the inside that we can't see. So it's like recently, I can't even be mad about the way that Chris treats me. I can't, because here's the thing. This is how he treats himself. He knows no better than to treat me this way. He, again, it's this, we are no longer in the limbo. We have, like I have said, I thought I was confirming what he wanted. I felt a tremendous amount of relief by being able to just speak my truth and say, right now, what I need is to be at the top of my totem pole. And in order to be at the top of my totem pole, I really need to focus on me without all the expectations that being your wife, being a wife, puts on me, not only by you, but by me, by my children, by society. I just have a limited amount of time. And so I am not the best person at being able to say, okay, I'm willing to sacrifice, again, dance class A or B so that I can have this time with you. And I know that part of like growing and part of everything is having a relationship with somebody. Like I don't want to be alone in this world like forever. And that includes like friendships, that includes, significant others, that includes children, that includes friends, other things, right? No matter what the relationship is you have to make a conscious choice or decision. Like, am I going to be putting in more time or effort into this relationship, or am I choosing not? Because it's one or the other. And so, like he was, didn't really talk to me on a Saturday. On Sunday, it was like I was in tremendous pain. I was very honest. It just said, I'm in tremendous pain. I'm supposed to go to Costco to get the groceries. Like, I'm panicking because I am like having a trouble just sitting. And then to think like I have to go pick up stuff, put load a cart, all this. Like, I was just like, I need gas, like, and I was like, well, just shoot my shot. I can ask him, and he can say no, and then I'll go and do it. And if he says yes, then that's like such a relief. And to my surprise, it took a long time for him to respond. So he had to probably process on his own. He said, yeah, I'll go. And I was like, oh my God, you literally are an angel. Like, it was just like, I just needed a moment of compassion. I needed a moment of somebody being like, I see that you're in pain. Like, that sucks. I'm what can I do to help? And like, that meant so much to me personally. And, and then again, like he was, fueled up in a motivated thing, and he tried to do other things, and a couple of those things failed. And I know for somebody like Chris, who's trying, like, it's like, why did I even bother? Why did I even try? Like, I should have never got out of bed. And I'm like, no, like, you tried. Like, just because the outcome wasn't what you wanted, it doesn't mean you shouldn't have tried. And so I think that that's the point with our relationship, is like, that's what I've been trying to tell him all along. Like, it's not like, will we be together forever for the rest of our lives? I don't know, but it's a process. If you don't have the guarantee, and he needed the guarantee to try. Without the guarantee, he doesn't want to try. He doesn't want to fail. And that's the thing, is like, you can't be afraid to fail, because we're going to all fail. Like, we're going to make mistakes. We're going to mess up. We're not going to get the job. We're, going to get broken up with. Like, we are going to break up with somebody. Like, that's kind of life. Like, do we just want to be comfortable and do the same thing every day for the rest of our life that we've done since we were 18? Like, whether it be just get up, go to work, have, a certain routine. Every Wednesday we have this for dinner. Every Sunday we go on a road trip. Like, I'm sorry, great for you if that's what you want and that's where you find your optimal peace and purpose. Great. But for me personally, there is a whole world out there. There is so many different people out there. There's so many different options. And it's like, why am I only going to eat the same meal every day when I can go try something new? I can then decide I don't like it, or I do love it, or whatever it is, and have it again, or never have it again, or dream about it, or whatever it may be. But like, I just say, like, he the way, he had that reaction. And then yesterday came home and I was like, hey, how are you? And he was like, it kind of ignored me. And then he was like, I'm good. And I was like, oh, that's good. And then the conversation ends there. So it's like, I get it. I get it now. Like, when I had these expectations, like in sorrow, like, but he's not asking me how my day was. And, he's not being kind to me every day. But the truth of the matter is, this is who he is. Like, how can I keep sitting here and expect him to change? Or want him to change, or be like, why is he behaving this way? That is who he is. My daughter shared a story with me yesterday, and I swear my uncle shared the story, or I've heard it before. It's like a fable or a metaphor. I don't know what the heck these things are called, but it is the same thing, and it sticks out in my mind. So this man goes outside. It's snowing. It's cold. There's a snake, and he's half dying. He brings the snake in, warms it up, resuscitates it, does all these things, gives it food and water, and then the snake turns and bite him. And he's like, why would you turn and bite me? I've been sitting here and taking care of you and everything. And the snake simply said, because I'm a snake. Like, he is a snake. My husband is a snake. Like, I am who I am. Who I am is somebody who is constantly trying to change. But I'm sure within here, like, there's things like that's part of my personality, is like wanting to push myself out of my comfort zone, wanting to challenge myself. And I'm not saying that there are days that I love my routines and I want it safe and sweet. But on the same turn, is like, I'm okay to take the risk. And I'm okay knowing that even if I take the risk, that I'm still ahead, even if I don't get it. Because again, like I tell my kids with soccer, like, or whatever sport that they played, I go out there and take the shots. I mean, don't, I mean, I don't know enough about the game to be like, I mean, like, obviously, like, you don't want to do stupid stuff. I don't know. But like, is there stupid? Like, even if you take it from too far or too close, like to whatever it is, take the shot. Because guess what? If you don't, you wouldn't have had any opportunities, and you don't know what's going to happen now as a result of you trying. Like, that opens up a whole new world. And I'm like, I try to get it in. So, I can't change Chris. Like, I can't change the way he views the world. I can't change the way the glasses that he wears have been prismed out, because of his very challenging life situations and a lack of like education on how to repair and heal. And he is working hard on those things. He is. And I give him a lot of grace and time, but that doesn't mean, and I can understand that and I can support that on one thing, but I also am able to say, hey, wait, I get your experience. I totally do. I get why you treat me this way. I understand this, but there also comes a point where I'm like, hey, I get it all. And before it was like, oh, I get it. And he's working on it. So just keep taking it. And eventually he'll be really nice to you more days than he's really mean to you. And then that'll be great. And then we could just be a happy family, and the kids will be happy, and he'll be happy, and you'll be happy because nobody's being mean to you. And there comes a point in time where now, because I've learned and I've grown and I've evolved and I've healed, and I'm working and practicing on showing up better, that I can say that I don't have to sit here and accept this. I've been very clear on what my boundaries are. I've been very clear on how I expect to be treated. And I don't feel like I would like to compromise that anymore. Every time I compromise that, I'm compromising who I am now. Again, I refer, like, when I'm talked to or ignored, or, talked to less than respectful, like I said, ignored or huffed at, I instantly, in my mind now, that little girl on the swing, just trying to live her life, or the goofy girl with the, the toothless grin, and, the one that's just posing, she pops in my mind. And I'm like, would I allow someone to treat her like that? And the answer is no. Like, if I was there and somebody was treating some little kid, I'd be like, excuse me, why are we talking to a little kid like this? Like, what is going on? And so I think that, I know that. I now know my worth, and I can't unsee it. I can't unsee it. I would rather be alone and in peace than be in hell with somebody. And quite honestly, I know he didn't see it this way. Like, for me, I'm like, we had 10% of our relationship was good. The other 90% was hell. And the reason why I saw it that way is because, again, my personality is, I don't like the negativity. I strive for positivity. Even in the midst of hell, I really work hard at practicing and saying, hey, here's what it, like, like, in the death of something, whether it be a dream, an aspiration, you know, a want for your life. Like, you know, like I could say, like for me, when my son was born early, there was this death of this expectation of having this healthy, happy pregnancy and a baby shower and, you know, gifts and friends and flowers and balloons and, you know, all these things I had fantasized. There was a death of this fantasy when all of a sudden you have this sick baby that's born. You have all the things that go with it. You're uncertain if they're going to live. You're uncertain what you're going to do. Like you're trying to like realize I didn't even know this person, you know, a few days ago, besides you lived in my body. And now you're this human, this infant child dependent upon me. And I don't even know what I'm doing. And I didn't even know what I was doing if you were going to be healthy, but now you're not healthy. And I'm just this young kid. And granted, I've grown up fast and I'm married to somebody I literally don't even know. I met like 7 months ago or maybe more than 7 months. I met in March. This is now December. You do the math. 9 months ago. And, you know, it's overwhelming and I'm confused and it was a death of something, but there was also this rebirth, right? Like what was born out of this terrible, unbelievable, unforeseeable situation was a badass mom, like somebody who will advocate, someone that will learn, someone that will be by your side, by my kid's side, like regardless through whatever. Like I will learn, I will understand what it is like to be the mom of a preemie in a NICU, which I never even had heard that term of NICU before. Like I was like, what is this NICU they keep talking about? I have no clue. Where is my child? You know, like I don't get it. You know, I was so educated from that experience. I was full of fear. I was full of uncertainty, but I knew I could rely on my faith. I knew I could rely on myself. Like no one should ever count me out because I will come back. Like there is no like ending me. I will always come back bigger, better, and stronger because that's who I am. Because I don't just lay down and accept the defeat, you know? And one of the things that the nurses even used to comment all the time is just like how remarkable it was with the energy I was able to come in at my age with such a challenging experience. You're walking in and you're seeing your child who is like this big and filled with tubes, filled with things, getting shots constantly, getting blood draws, screaming and crying. You have to ask permission to touch them. Like it is a no short of hell, like what that experience is. But then you have your moments of peace where you're like, can I hold my baby? Like I'm going to have, you know, and I would have to like think about it, like, oh, I don't want to bother them. They're doing this with this thing and this. And I was like, no, my child needs me right now. So I learned how from that unfortunate situation, I learned how to advocate for my son. I learned how to advocate for myself, and I learned to just listen. I listened to the beat of his heart, his broken little heart that beat really fast constantly. I learned to listen, and I learned to listen to mine. And what was born from the ashes of the destruction of the dream that I had of this fantastical parentinghood experience, right? Like I had fantasized about being a mom since my mom left, and probably even while my mom was there. You know, I had my dollies and, you know, my everything. Like I always had fantasized about being a mom. And, you know, I didn't get my fantasy, like the fantasy, the way I had envisioned it didn't come true, but I got it in so many ways. My kids are literally amazing. They still want to be around me. Like I laugh because I'm like, by now I would think that you guys want to be away, but they still come in. Like the minute something good happens or the minute something challenging happens, they're in there talking in here or in the car or wherever it is. They are like a magnet to mama. And they're here to tell me, like, if they want to be celebrated or just chat or, you know, laugh, you know, they understand. They want some momisms. They want some TED Talks. They'll get it. They know where to come to. But I think that, you know, from this place of this, where you have the ending of one idea in your head, there is this opportunity for rebirth. And so I think I always see that. And this is my favorite season and my favorite time of year. And let me tell you why. I don't know why, but there's just something absolutely miraculous to me when you see like a cherry blossom tree or any kind of tree where you just see the dead wood, right? And you look like it's nothing. It's barren. It's not attractive per se. And suddenly you see, suddenly from nothing comes such beauty. Just in each day, there's more abundance of colors and growth. And I feel like that's where I am. I feel like for so many years, I had all this hidden potential hidden beneath the branches of a tree. And slowly I'm emerging. And what's emerging is like beautiful blossoms and vibrant colors and just peace and tranquility of where I am in that stage, knowing that eventually I will be a fruitful big tree as well. And I really am enjoying that. And so, every time I see that, I have to stop and take a photo, or at least take a photo in my mind, because I understand this little phase of life only comes once a year. And it's so important to me. So again, that's why I go back to say, I am not sad I did not get the job. I am so grateful for the experience. And I'm like, I know that all it has done, and it has reinvigorated me. It has birthed a new passion and ignition for doing this stuff even more. Like, I am going to go in hard and be me. One of the questions I really didn't know how to answer, and I'm like, I get it now. Like, I know who I am, and I have known who I am. However, I haven't really understood. Now I know who I am, but I haven't really had the ability to properly articulate it, to properly process it. Because again, I'm evolving from that gritty, hardcore, wearing the pain with like a badge of honor, and pushing through and sticking with the commitments. And now I'm coming into this gentler, more nurturing phase of my life, which is why I'm allowed to be a little more gentler and nurturing to myself, and understanding that this is what I can give today. And so, yes, I may not be going to the gym, but I finished up my steps. I'm finishing up this. I get to work hard on this. I understand that I work really well with a plan and focus. So if I'm dedicating certain hours of the day, or even just minutes, I know we all don't have hours, and this is supposed to be an inspiration to you to go out there and do what your inspirations are, your things are. So it's if you want to go out there and play pickleball, pick up the racket and practice for 5 minutes a day, whatever it is. It doesn't have to be big, and it doesn't have to be bold. It just has to be consistent. And so if I'm putting in, 5 minutes today, that's 5 minutes more than I did yesterday. I mean, I think my LinkedIn is up to over 400 followers now. And okay, somebody may be like, who cares? What is it? What it is I'm putting in a very minute, I'm sitting there in my son's physical therapy, and I'm like, hey, I'm just going to connect with people. I'm getting inspired. I'm learning and things like that. And so for me, it's just a symbol. It isn't something particular. I'm not like, hey, I'm so popular now. The principle isn't that. It's just, does this theory work? Does this work? If I put in and I do really good when it's something measurable. Obviously my weight, it worked, other different things. I can say this works or it doesn't work. And so I just like to have things that you guys can go back and look and be like, oh, she was right. She had 0 followers on, February the 1st. And now here we are, March 26th, and she's got over 400 followers. You can go back. This is measurable stuff. This isn't things I'm making up. You can go back to my first YouTube and watch me publish it and see I have 0 followers, 0 likes, 0 watchers. And I'm okay with that. I see so many times, again, I've been starting to follow different content creation, things like that. And people are like, what am I doing wrong? I've got this many followers and this many people are only liking it and this many people are watching. You're so caught up in the result. Just do you. And what people do, that's on them. Stop focusing on that. Because when your focus is on the result, then it's just completely result driven. And you're not getting that, the growth that you need to get to the place that you naturally will find and attract the people that are yes, yes, and yes, 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 yes. I like it. I'm going to subscribe to it. I'm going to share it. I'm going to be, and more important than that, right? I know in the United States, it's so easy to be consumed by like the monetary, like in our finances and getting more, but and who likes us. We live in an era where, bless their hearts, there's like, the Kim Kardashians, the Paris Hiltons, the Taylor Swifts of the world. That's great. Like, bless their hearts with their gazillion followers and their, all of the things that they do. Honestly, there is no hate, no shame, no nothing in any of it. Like, girl, you go do you. Like, straight up, if you can do that and you love that, absolutely do that. I am your biggest fan. Like, but on the same turn, if your motivation is simply to get likes and to simply have people like you, you're missing the whole point here. Like, the motivation should be to like help somebody else, to like inspire, to help yourself, to like learn, not to have a monetization of something, or, the belief that, oh, well, now I'm accepted, because you should be accepting you the way you are. And that's what I'm learning now. And I think that this next like time of my life, it's going to be a challenge, right? Because you put yourself out there and people aren't going to like my voice. They're not going to like that I didn't do my hair, that I maybe need Botox or fillers because I don't do any of that stuff. And my lighting is crap because I don't know lighting and I should have better sound. And they're sick of seeing the purple wall and the gamer chair. Everybody has an opinion, and that is okay. Like, I get it. Like, I'm not blind to that, but I really hope, and that is my true hope here, is that instead of figuring out ways how we can break down each other, like, ask yourself, like, is what I'm going to say right now going to bring somebody joy? Is this bringing joy? And if the answer is no, then why are we doing it? Like, ask yourself why. Like, I want to be spreading joy. And I will be spreading joy because this is what I'm thinking about. And I'm not saying that there aren't times that I honk at somebody and I like kill their joy or something, but I immediately am like, and I've gotten so much better. Like, I can't remember the last time I've honked. Like, I'm telling you, breakthroughs are amazing. Like, I had no idea, like, I could be this kind of a driver. Like, it is like somebody coming off today. I'm like, it's cool. I just like literally backed off the gas, like, enjoy, maybe you got someplace to go. Maybe you didn't see me. Maybe. I don't care. That's your story. That's your life. But what can I control? I can control my controllables. And is this worth getting myself all in a tizzy, elevating my blood pressure, taking moments of my life off? No, ain't worth it. Back off. Have a good day. Bye. Bye. Enjoy yourself. So no. So really think about that. And I know that sometimes it's our default setting. Like I'm saying here, his default setting is to believe in negativity and not, all those kind of things. But it doesn't have to be. Like, if that's a part of your personality that you're like, ooh, if you saw that in the mirror and you realize that that's how you're showing up and showing love to your loved ones, your friends, your children, your coworkers, your gym mates, any of that stuff, like, change it if you want. But if you don't, and you're the snake, then everybody should be like, why am I over here expecting the snake to change just because I was nice to it? Like, there is no, unspoken contract or agreement that like someone is nice and kind to you. And I think that's where I showed up. It was like, I was so nice to Chris. I was so good. Weird. How come he's treating me this way? There was no agreement that if you be nice, then you get this in the back. That was a made up story in my own head. That was never going to happen. It was a wish. It was a want. It was a fantasy, and it didn't happen. And so I can come to this place where I'm now saying, hey, I appreciate that this is your experience. I'm sorry that your life, has been this way and that you found it challenging to, treat me with respect. I'm not your mom. I'm not, any of those people that harmed you. On the contrary, I've been very good to you, but that doesn't give me any form of entitlement to any kind of treatment. I did those things from the bottom of my heart, from the kindness of my heart, because that's who I am. And that's who I will continue to be. I continue to show up and be kind as I've ever been. I'm not ignoring him. I'm not, doing anything to make his life harder or more complicated. On the contrary, it's like, hey, let's get to this place, and maybe he will get there, with time and processing or whatever, or maybe he won't. He is him and he's his thing. But all I know is, for me, in order to be at the top of my totem pole and not feel a confliction because I allow this one person, I don't allow anybody else in my life or world to treat me in this manner. And I don't enjoy being around that type of people. So I actively choose not to be around these people. I am saying no more. Like and I'm hoping that the expectations he has placed on me in his own mind, will kind of alleviate when he understands that he and I, as husband and wife, are no longer going to be a thing at this, stage and day. And I'm not saying that anything isn't possible in life. I totally believe that. But I also believe I have a bottom line threshold. And right here, like we are way below it. We need, there's significant work that needs to happen in order to come meet me at my level and to treat me the way I deserve to be treated by anyone, which is the same way I treat others. And so I say all that to say, I actually really liked coming into you guys early. I feel like my energy was up. Sometimes at night it's a struggle bus, like when you're coming off of all these workouts and, you got the kids and the school and the food and the this. So this was kind of fun. I really enjoy it. I will try to incorporate some mixing things up. And that's what life is. So I can kind of figure out what works for me. I'm even thinking like, hey, maybe I can get up early in the morning, get these done. So I'm one of those people that I like to have a daily checklist that isn't the same as every day. It's not the same checklist, but like something to say, hey, I got all these things done, and I like to get them done early instead of having, to like wait. And I time out my workouts because some are in the evening and I love those classes. So I'm not willing to compromise those classes in order to get things done early, but I then have to plan and budget my day, and every day is a little different, which makes it exciting. So, and I feel like I have a lot of growth. I have a lot of choices, and I'm having a lot of fun. So I really appreciate that you tuned in here again today. I know that this is your time and energy, and I really appreciate it like so much. I really am again going to say, I cannot wait until we are interacting with one another. I really want this to be a place of community. I can imagine beautiful things, and I can imagine amazing growth, and to be able to hear those things. Like when I hear, somebody at the gym tell me, oh my gosh, I'm here today because of you. I thought of you this morning when I was going to lay in bed, but I realized, how much you motivate me, and I came anyways. And so I'm not even a teacher. I'm just some random lady in the class that's having a good time. So I appreciate that so much, to know that I've made a positive impact. Or like when I hear my kids regurgitate something that I've constantly regurgitated to them, and it works out in their benefit. Hallelujah. I'm so happy. So again, I say, I love you. I thank you so much for your time. And if you could just do me one favor, please go out there today, give somebody a big smile, give them a compliment, and just watch how they glow up. So thank you so much. Have a lovely day, morning, evening, weekend, night, whatever it is. Mwah. Bye.